Hello, this is Coach Patty, the Grammar Coach, and today we're talking about semicolons. Let's go. Alright, so the trick to understanding semicolons and how to use them is understanding semicolons. So first off, it looks like you have a comma with a period on top, right? I like to think of it as the super comma, right? And that's exactly what semicolons are. They have various uses, which we'll talk about, and we'll also talk about when and why not to use them. So one of the main uses for a semicolon is to join together two independent clauses. For example, how we normally would with a compound sentence where you have like a comma and to combine two sentences where you have an independent clause here and an independent clause here. Well, if those sentences are so closely related that they really should just kind of flow one into the other, then all you need for that is a semicolon. So if you have sentence here, and you have a comma and you have a full sentence meaning subject and predicate, and a full sentence meaning subject and predicate here, you could probably take out the comma and the and just put a semicolon there to connect those sentences together. Another instance similar to that you would use a semicolon would be with like conjunctive adverbs. So think of conjunctive adverbs as like transition words that get us from this idea to this idea. The most common ones would be like then, finally, however. You ever hear someone say semicolon, however, comma, just like that. Nevertheless, those kind of words that flow from this full thought to this full thought. Then you would put this full thought, this full independent clause, semicolon, however, comma, the other full thought. Semicolon, nevertheless, comma, the other thought. Semicolon, moreover, comma, the other thought. Semicolon, therefore, comma, the other thought. But make sure there's a full thought on both sides. In other words, when using a semicolon to combine sentences, you need a full sentence in a full sentence, or you're not really combining sentences. You wouldn't just say, I, semicolon, however, comma, love pickles. Like, you wouldn't say that because you need a full thought on each side and I's on a full thought. In that case, you would just use two commas because it's an interrupting word. Another thing that's really important with semicolons is understanding the punctuation. If you have not the punctuation. Another thing that's really important with semicolons is understanding the capitalization that goes with it. If you're using semicolons to combine sentences, then you do not need to capitalize the letter or the word that comes after the semicolon, unless it's a word you always capitalize, like a proper noun. But otherwise, when you're combining those two sentences, you wouldn't capitalize that next sentence like it was before. The other way semicolons are commonly used, which is a bit more complex, is in a serial list. So let's say I'm giving a list, but in this list, there are things that would need commas. Or in this list, there are other types of punctuation that might make it confusing for someone to understand how my ideas are put together. In this case, I could then use a semicolon to say, semicolon, this idea, semicolon, this idea, semicolon, this idea, and combine those thoughts. This is especially useful when you're using cities and states, right? Because if not, if you have a list and maybe someone's unfamiliar with the names of the cities, then if they see El Paso, comma, Texas, comma, Champaign, comma, Illinois, like they would get really confused and wonder what exactly you're putting together or if these are separate ideas. So semicolons help when you have like a serial list, like a bigger, more impactful list to combine those ideas, which is really, really common with, dates, with cities and states, and anything else that would naturally have a comma in there that you're putting those ideas together. All right, so those are the main uses of a semicolon, like, they're not that hard once you like get over that they look like two crazy punctuation marks put together. Honestly, all you have are really three rules. You see that we can use them to combine an independent clause and an independent clause, to combine sentences, to put these ideas together that are so closely related you wouldn't want to divide them with a comma and, but they don't need the hard stop like with a period. You use them when you're using conjunctive adverbs, those transition words, in addition, therefore, however, more so ever. You know, like, when you put those together, you would semicolon, however, comma, which really you're still having two ideas on both sides. So that's the same kind of concept as with the two independent clauses. And then you use semicolons to make things clearer when you have serial lists, when you have internal punctuation, so that it can clear up those ideas. Hopefully the examples you saw were very helpful. And good luck using semicolons. Try them out. Hit someone with a semicolon, however, comma, in your fancy idea papers. This is the Grammar Coach. Let me know if you have questions in the comments. Until next time, out!